Chosen one, pause for a moment. Take a deep breath, not just into your lungs, but into your spirit. Let everything else fall silent. Let the noise of the world dissolve, and the weight on your chest loosen. For what you are about to receive is not just a message. It is a summons, a divine call that has been echoing across realms and waiting for you to become still enough to hear it. This moment is not an accident. You didn't find this message by chance. This message found you because your name has been spoken in heavenly places, and time has caught up with destiny. You may not realize it yet, but you've already been watched, not by enemies, not by strangers, but by heaven itself. There have been moments in your life when you felt someone watching you, observing you from a distance. That wasn't just intuition. That was your spirit, sensing the movement of unseen realms. God has been trying to reach you for longer than you know, through silent tears in the dark, through the ache that never quite left, through the stillness that somehow felt sacred. But the chaos of the world blurred his voice. Distraction numbed your senses. Pain hardened your discernment. And yet heaven waited, patiently, lovingly, until now. Now everything has changed, because this is the moment God has ordained. Heaven is no longer whispering, it is speaking with clarity. The time of delay is over. The seal has been broken. A line has been drawn, and you, chosen one, are being called not just to awaken but to step forward into something ancient, something sacred, something written with your name before your first breath. You are not invisible. You have never been forgotten. What you carry within you was not meant to be hidden forever. Heaven has been tracking your journey, and at this very hour a divine instruction has been issued. You are not standing on ordinary ground. You are standing at the threshold of divine unfolding. And before you go any further, you must understand this. You are no longer just watching the story. You are the turning point in it. You are the sign. You are the moment. This is your call. And heaven is waiting for your response. If this message reached the deepest part of you, if your spirit is stirring and you know this was not a coincidence, then don't let this moment pass without response. Comment 777. I step forward as your declaration. Let heaven record it. Let the realm of darkness witness it. The chosen one has heard the call and is answering. There is something you must know and know fully. You were watched, not in passing, not by accident, but deliberately, strategically, and in silence. A man was sent not to harm you physically, but to uncover what you have kept sacred. He was not a criminal in the eyes of the world, but he was complicit in a violation far more dangerous, the intrusion of the spirit. He was hired by someone who once stood close to you, someone who once had access to your presence, but not your soul. This person didn't have the courage to confront you with questions, so they sought answers from your absence. They were desperate to read your energy, to decode your silence, to see what you had become when they no longer had access to you. They didn't want your words. They wanted the unspoken truth behind your calm. They feared you had changed, feared that your peace meant you had grown beyond their reach. So instead of humbling themselves, they chose surveillance. But they did not realize what they were touching. They believed they were investigating a person. What they didn't know is that they were stepping into sacred territory, territory protected by the Most High. As C.S. Lewis wrote in The Weight of Glory, "There are no ordinary people. You have never talked to a mere mortal." This profound truth illuminates the gravity of their error. The one who sent the man thought they were probing a mere individual, but they were trespassing upon a soul anointed by heaven, a vessel carrying divine light. Your peace, your silence, your transformation, these are not mundane. They are sacred, guarded by the Creator himself, and their intrusion has awakened a response from the divine. God was never unaware. Heaven never looked away. From the very beginning, everything hidden was being recorded, not for shame, but for exposure. As it is written in Luke 8:17, "For there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open." This is that moment, the hour of revealing, the moment when what was done in darkness is being called into light. But here is the twist. What that man found when he studied your life wasn't dirt, it was depth. He expected weakness, but encountered reverence. He saw not a scandal, but a sanctuary. He saw prayers whispered in pain. He saw strength that didn't need to announce itself. And though he tried to remain detached, something broke inside him. He couldn't unsee the light he witnessed. He left the assignment. He walked away. And in doing so, he confirmed what heaven already knew: you are not ordinary. You are anointed. The one who sent him may still think they're in control, but they have crossed a spiritual boundary. And now the eyes of God are on the situation, not with vengeance, but with holy justice. Heaven will not allow the sacred to be studied like a science. What you carry is not for consumption. It is for revelation. And now that revelation has begun, not just for them, but for you. You are being shown what has been hidden, not to break your heart, but to wake your spirit. This is not a time for fear. This is a time for clarity. You were watched, but now you see. Heaven does not ignore trespass against the chosen. It does not remain passive while the sacred is observed without permission. When the man who watched you left, the assignment broken, undone, unable to continue, he didn't just walk away from a job. He walked straight into the presence of God. And the moment his eyes were opened, the moment his heart trembled under the weight of what he had witnessed, a new instruction was issued in the spirit. You may not have seen it. You may not have heard it. But in the realm where battles are fought without flesh and blood, an angel was assigned to your side, not to observe, not to merely comfort, but to war, to watch, to prepare the ground for what must unfold next. C.S. Lewis in the Screwtape Letters wrote, "Courage is not simply one of the virtues, but the form of every virtue at the testing point." This truth speaks to the angel's presence at your side. The divine warrior assigned to you is not there to coddle, but to embolden, to stand with you as you face the testing point of your calling. Your courage tested in this moment of violation and revelation is the form of your faith, your purity, and your purpose. With heaven's guard at your side, you are equipped to stand firm against any spiritual intrusion. For days now, yes, even as you've gone about your life in silence, there has been an angel standing beside you, not hovering, not passive, but present, watching your atmosphere, reading your readiness, guarding your sleep, whispering truth into the chaos. This is not mythology. This is divine intervention. Heaven responded the moment it saw that your peace was being pursued with suspicion. When God saw someone trying to dissect what he had declared holy, he intervened in silence. Because that's how he works, quietly at first, decisively at the end. What you thought was emotional weight, that heaviness in your chest, those restless nights you thought they were anxiety or fatigue, they were not. They were signals, movements, the spiritual tension of heaven, preparing to draw a line in the unseen. That's why the air has felt strange. That's why certain people around you have grown uncomfortable. That's why you've sensed a shift without explanation. It's because something is being sealed in your atmosphere. You are being surrounded, covered. Heaven is no longer allowing your light to be accessed by unauthorized hands. And the angel who now walks with you does not wait on your fear. They wait on your readiness. The moment your spirit says yes, the moment you stop shrinking to fit into spaces too small for your calling, that is when the full movement begins. Divine timing is not just about dates. It's about alignment. And you, chosen one, are now being aligned, not just with your future, but with your protection, your vindication, your unveiling. You were never unguarded. You were being watched, yes, but you were also being watched over. That angel didn't arrive after the violation. They were already near, but now they have been activated. Now they stand armed not with swords of vengeance, but with the authority of heaven. And from this point on, nothing, and no one may cross the boundary God has established around you without consequence. This is sacred ground now, and you, your life, your heart, your light, are under divine protection. There are lines in the spirit that must not be crossed. There are thresholds that only reverence can enter. And what happened to you, what was done in silence behind your back, under the guise of curiosity or concern, was not just an act of emotional betrayal, it was a spiritual violation. The one who sent that man, the one who watched from a distance rather than speak with honesty, stepped into a realm they were never authorized to touch. At first, it may not have seemed malicious. It may have started with longing, confusion, or even fear, but intention does not erase consequence. What began as a desperate reach soon became a form of control. When you stopped responding, when your spirit pulled away, they didn't pray, they plotted. And what they failed to understand is this: you are not merely a person, you are a vessel. You are consecrated. Heaven takes such things seriously. God does not turn away when the holy is handled without honor. When someone chooses to observe your light rather than honor it, when they reach for access instead of grace, heaven responds not with noise, but with judgment, not in cruelty, but in justice. Because what was trespassed was not just your privacy, it was the space where God dwells within you. This is why you have felt tension around certain people, why your dreams have been strange, why your inner atmosphere has shifted, even when you couldn't explain why. It's because heaven has exposed what was done in darkness. Even if no one confesses, even if no apology ever comes, God already knows. And heaven has issued a warning not just to them, but to every spirit that thought it could enter without permission. As it is written in Hebrews 4:13, nothing in all creation is hidden from God's sight. Everything is uncovered and laid bare before the eyes of him to whom we must give account. There is no cover thick enough, no silence deep enough, no motive hidden enough that can shield a heart from the gaze of the Most High. You chosen, one must understand, this is not about vengeance. It's about sovereignty. God is re-establishing order around your life. He is clearing the space of unauthorized influence. He is drawing a holy perimeter around your heart and saying, this far, no further. C.S. Lewis, in Letters to Malcolm Chiefly on Prayer, wrote, "We may ignore, but we can nowhere evade the presence of God. The world is crowded with him. He walks everywhere incognito." This truth underscores the divine surveillance over your life. The one who sought to invade your sacred space did not evade God's gaze, for his presence is inescapable, even in their hidden schemes. The tension you felt is not merely human betrayal, but the stirring of God's incognito presence, enforcing his sovereign boundary around you and exposing what was meant to remain concealed. So yes, it hurts to have been watched instead of embraced. It stings to know that someone you once trusted chose observation over confession. But let that pain become clarity. Let it remind you that what surrounds you now is not weakness, it is sanctification. God is not punishing, he is preserving. He is protecting the purpose that lives inside of you from being contaminated by those who cannot yet honor it. And to those who tried to peer into your spirit without coming in love, this is your warning. Heaven sees. God responds. The ground you trespassed is not neutral, it is sacred. At some point, perhaps sooner than you expect, the one who initiated all of this will feel the weight of their actions. It may not come through a public apology. It may not be loud or dramatic, but it will come quietly, internally, in the privacy of their own heart, because what they witnessed in you was not what they were prepared for. They expected resistance, anger, maybe even collapse. But what they encountered was stillness, peace. The kind of peace that doesn't demand to be understood because it is rooted in something deeper than validation. That peace unsettled them. It convicted them. And now, whether they speak it or not, they carry the awareness that they crossed a line, not just emotionally, but spiritually. And still, you must understand this truth. Not every remorse deserves reconciliation. Forgiveness is holy. It is commanded, but it is not the same as access. You are not obligated to reopen doors that God Himself has shut. Just because someone regrets what they did doesn't mean they are ready to honor who you've become. And as painful as that may feel, this is the sacred work of separation. Not all love is safe. Not all familiarity is faithful. And not everyone who watched you suffer deserves a front row seat to your restoration. You are being invited into a deeper level of discernment. One where your compassion does not compromise your calling. One where you can love people without lowering your standards. One where you can release the weight of the past without handing over your future. This is what maturity in the spirit looks like. Not bitterness, but boundaries. Not vengeance, but vision. You are not being cold. You are being consecrated. There is a difference. So yes, forgive them. But let that forgiveness be the closing of a chapter, not the reopening of a cycle. Forgive them so your heart can stay clean, so your spirit can remain light, so your hands are free to carry what's coming next. Because you cannot step into the next season of your life dragging old pain behind you. You cannot build what God has given you while constantly looking over your shoulder. Release it. Lay it down. Not because they deserve it, but because you do. And remember this, Isaiah 54:17 says, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." That includes emotional manipulation disguised as regret. That includes sudden apologies designed to regain access. That includes carefully chosen words that feel like peace but are actually control. Do not fall for it. God is separating what cannot go with you. He is clearing the path for something higher. And your only task is to follow where peace leads, not where comfort tries to call you back. Let God deal with their repentance. Let heaven handle their conviction. You are not their judge. You are their mirror. And now that your part has been fulfilled, it is time to walk forward unentangled, undistracted, and undeterred. This is not cruelty. This is clarity. You are not choosing distance. You are choosing destiny. And so, chosen one, forgive them, bless them, release them, and move forward. The door has opened, not a door made by human hands, not an opportunity crafted by ambition, but a divine door opened by the hand of God, timed with precision and sealed with purpose. You are no longer standing on the edge of breakthrough. You have crossed into it. The spiritual atmosphere around your life has shifted, and whether you feel it or not, the realm of heaven is moving. This moment is not just a turning point. It is a holy appointment, one that has been written into your timeline long before this world called your name. Starting Sunday, the 15th of June, heaven has initiated a sacred cycle, a divine countdown, a spiritual recalibration meant not only to deliver you but to redefine you. What you are stepping into is more than clarity. It is consecration. It is a prophetic sequence heaven has named the 10-day spiritual activation. From the 15th of June to the 25th of June, you will not simply be receiving a message. You will be walking through a series of spiritual thresholds, 10 days of divine instruction, 10 days of inner purification, 10 days of alignment, where heaven touches earth in the quiet corners of your life. These days are not symbolic, they are strategic. Each day holds a specific spiritual assignment. You may not see lightning, you may not hear trumpets, but your spirit will know, your discernment will sharpen, and the deeper part of you will feel the gentle pull of God drawing you into transformation. These 10 days are not just about revelation, they are about activation. You will feel resistance, emotionally, relationally, spiritually, because what is being awakened in you threatens the patterns that once held you back. But do not fear the pressure. That pressure is proof that something sacred is forming. C.S. Lewis, in Mere Christianity, wrote, "It may be hard for an egg to turn into a bird. It would be a jolly sight harder for it to learn to fly while remaining an egg." This metaphor captures the essence of your 10-day activation. The resistance and pressure you will face are the cracking of the shell, the necessary breaking of old limitations to allow the new version of you to emerge. You cannot remain in the comfort of the egg and expect to soar into your divine purpose. Embrace this sacred cycle, for it is the holy process of your transformation. Within these 10 days, heaven will highlight what needs to be released. You will be shown who must be loved from a distance, what must be surrendered without condition, and where your feet must now go, even if fear trembles beside you. You will be asked to forgive deeply. You will be called to trust radically. You will be instructed to let go not just of people but of old versions of yourself that no longer serve the vision God is birthing in you. Each day is a step upward. Each revelation, a key. Each obedience, a gate unlocking. And by the 25th of June you will not be the same. Not because circumstances changed, but because you changed. Because something within you said, I will not shrink again. I will not delay again. I will not hand over my peace for the comfort of others again. And when that decision is made in the Spirit, it echoes in heaven. You must understand this 10-day window is not random. It is prophetic. If you ignore it, you delay what has already been released. If you treat it lightly, you risk missing the moment heaven prepared under your name. This is the fulfillment of prayers. You forgot you prayed. This is the response to whispers you barely dared to say aloud. This is alignment, and you are standing in the middle of it. So now, chosen one, let your response match the weight of this moment. Let your posture reflect your awareness that the ground beneath you is holy. If your spirit hears this call, then say it aloud, I receive the 10-day activation. I am ready. I will not go back. Type it. Speak it. Write it. Let heaven witness your agreement. Because once this door closes, the version of you that walked in will no longer exist. A sign is coming. Not just any sign, not a vague coincidence, not a passing moment of comfort, but a divine confirmation sent directly from the throne of God to mark the turning point in your story. It will come quietly, without announcement, without warning. And yet, when it appears, your soul will recognize it instantly. Something deep inside you, something older than memory and louder than logic will whisper, this is it. This sign is not meant to impress you. It is not given to entertain. It is sent to test your alignment. Because before every unveiling there is a final test, not a punishment but a proving ground. Heaven needs to see that what you've been given will not be handed back out of fear, that what you've stepped into will not be exchanged for comfort. The test may arrive as a message from someone you've already released, a face from your past showing up with a half-healed heart, a question that tugs at your old self, or an opportunity that looks good but violates your peace. You'll know it not by how it sounds, but by how it feels. This is not a moment for reaction. This is a moment for restraint. God is watching how you answer what tried to break you. Will you explain yourself to those who once studied you, like a subject? Will you reopen your heart out of guilt, when God already closed that chapter with grace? Will you accept less because it's familiar, or walk forward into what is holy, even when it's unknown? The sign is not just about clarity, it's about confirmation. It will mark the moment heaven sees that you are no longer bound to cycles that used to own you. And when you pass this final test, a shift will break in the spirit. Chains will fall that you didn't even know were still clinging to you. Delays will lift. Locked doors will creak open. You will not have to fight to make it happen. It will begin to find you. But hear this. If you respond to the sign from your wound, you may misread it. If you react with fear, you may retreat. That is why the 10-day activation has been preparing you to respond not from brokenness, but from discernment. You are not the same person who once begged to be seen. You are not the version who once made excuses for being misunderstood. You have grown in silence. You have healed in layers. And now your strength is not in how loud you speak, but in how calmly you move. As the sign approaches, and it will stay grounded, stay quiet. Stay aware. You don't need to broadcast your peace. You don't need to defend your rise. Just walk in it. Let the peace of God guard your response. Let wisdom keep you from backtracking. Because the one who sees you now, the one who once watched in shadows, will witness the shift with their own eyes. And when they do, it won't be with power, it will be with awe. Not because you forced it, but because God revealed it. So prepare yourself. The sign is coming, and with it, the unveiling begins. You have heard the message. You have felt the tremble beneath your spirit. And now as you stand on the edge of something holy, something irreversible, heaven does not ask you to analyze further. It asks you to respond. Because what has been revealed was not meant to simply be understood. It was meant to be received, embraced, and sealed. You are no longer in a place of observation. You are in a place of activation. What was spoken into your life wasn't merely encouragement. It was instruction. It was architecture. And now, in this very moment, the blueprint God has written beneath your skin begins to unfold. This moment is not for noise. It is not for urgency or drama. It is for reverence, a sacred stillness, a holy hush before the next movement of God. You are not being rushed. You are being positioned. All of heaven has been moving around your life to bring you into alignment for such a time as this. And now the atmosphere shifts one more time, not to explain more, but to seal what's already been spoken. This is not a closing. It is a consecration, the transition from listening to embodying, from hearing the word to becoming the word. And what heaven seals, no one on earth can unseal. So pause, slow your breath, let your body settle and your heart open. Let this not be just another spiritual moment you scroll past, but a sacred transaction between your soul and the throne of God. Let the world fall away for just a moment. You don't need perfect surroundings. You don't need music. You just need to be willing to be still, willing to be sincere, willing to release what God never told you to carry, willing to receive what fear told you was impossible. This prayer is not just words. It is a key, a declaration, a doorway, and if you speak it with your heart, whether aloud or in quiet agreement, it will shift things in the spirit around you. So pray this not as a beggar, but as a beloved child, not as someone uncertain, but as someone chosen. Heavenly Father, I come to you now, not out of fear, but out of fullness. I recognize the weight of this moment, and I will not treat it lightly. I release what is no longer mine to hold the fear, the guilt, the resentment, the voices of the past. I let go of every false identity and every agreement I made with limitation, silence, and shame. I no longer shrink for the comfort of others. I no longer bow to cycles I have already broken. I receive what you are saying. I agree with what you are building. I align with what you are doing. And I say yes, not with hesitation, but with holy confidence. Seal me now in your presence. Mark this moment in eternity. Let every angel assigned to me be released to guard, guide, and prepare the way. Let every lie that ever attached itself to my name dissolve in your truth. Let every counterfeit connection, every unclean access point, every manipulative voice be cut off and silenced in the name of Jesus. Let the peace I've only glimpsed become the peace I now live in. I welcome divine clarity, divine protection, divine order, and divine rest. I walk forward, not as who I was, but as who I am becoming. Father, let what was done in secret now be rewarded in the open. Let every loss I've carried become a seed for greater glory. Let the story you've written over me come alive in ways I never expected. I don't need the old season to explain itself. I just need you to go before me. And I know you already have. I don't chase what left. I bless what's ahead. I forgive what broke me. I celebrate what will now build me. I am ready. I am aligned. I am protected. I am yours. Let those words rest on your lips like oil. Let them wash over you like water. Let them wrap around your body like armor. Because now something holy is being sealed in your atmosphere. From this point forward, there is a covering over you. Not a covering made of emotion or fragile belief, but one forged in heaven, woven through obedience and guarded by fire. This seal does not mean you will never face resistance, but it does mean you will never again face it alone. You are surrounded now. You are seen. And you are stepping into the rest of your story not as someone recovering from brokenness, but as someone becoming a testimony of resurrection. In the days ahead, you may feel waves of silence, waves of reflection, even waves of sacred discomfort, but let that be your confirmation. God is not finished. He is settling you into divine position. He is preparing you for the fulfillment of what has already been written. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. And most importantly, you are no longer unsealed. You are protected. You are marked. And heaven is watching over every step you take from this moment forward. There comes a moment quiet yet unshakable when your soul knows something has changed forever. It doesn't come with thunder. It doesn't arrive with fanfare. But deep within a line is drawn. A veil is lifted. And in that moment, the old version of you, the one who tolerated less, who doubted more, who stayed silent when your spirit was roaring, is laid to rest. Not out of shame, but out of sacred necessity. That version of you served its purpose. It survived what others could not. It carried wisdom through fire. But now that season is over. You are not healing anymore just to get back to who you were. You are being reborn into someone the world has never seen. This is the final confirmation. You will never be the same. The shift has already begun, and the atmosphere knows it. The spiritual realm recognizes the mark now placed upon you. You will notice it in strange ways, in the way certain conversations lose power, in the way former attachments dissolve without force, in how silence begins to feel like sanctuary instead of punishment. People may not understand what has happened to you. They may search for the version of you they once knew, call out to it, try to provoke it back into view, but it will not answer, because it no longer lives here. And neither should you. You may find yourself grieving that old identity. You may feel waves of sorrow, as if a part of you has died. That's because it has, and that grief is not regression, it is confirmation. It means you're awake. It means you're aware. It means you can finally feel what your spirit has always known, that you were not born to remain hidden in someone else's comfort zone. You were born to carry the presence of God in a way that shakes the atmosphere, shifts generational curses, and builds altars where others only saw ashes. So don't look back for what has already been buried. Don't water what heaven has uprooted. Don't entertain voices that only knew you by your former name. You are not in a transition. You are in a resurrection. And resurrection always offends those who loved the tomb more than the testimony. In the coming days you may be tested, not to undo your progress, but to prove your permanence. Don't fear that. Let it affirm your standing, because when heaven confirms a shift, hell often sends a whisper to test your silence. But you no longer need to answer with words. Your alignment is louder than explanation. Your peace is more powerful than permission. And your obedience will speak when your voice does not. Look around you. Everything may appear the same. The room, the people, the rhythm, but everything inside you has changed. And that is the true sign of transformation. The world doesn't shift first. You do. And then heaven aligns what surrounds you to match what now lives within you. So receive this final confirmation, not as hype, not as hope, but as holy truth. You will never be the same. And that is not a loss. It is a prophecy fulfilled. You are the living evidence that what God begins, He completes, that what He speaks, He seals, and that what He chooses, He does not abandon. You are no longer waiting. You are walking. You are no longer hiding. You are rising. The chosen one has awakened. The seal is in place. The story has turned, and heaven is watching not just to see how you finish, but to celebrate that you began.